Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. We're back. And today we're gonna do this really beautiful, like wintry, icy kind of eye look. I'm really feeling it. I'm really into it. I'm really kind of enjoying it. It's dark, it's kind of mysterious, very much like winter ice queen vibes, and I'm here for it. I went to Walmart the other day and I spent some more money that I shouldn't have spent. But Profusion has a couple of new eyeshadow palettes out, and I'm going to be doing a dedicated video on each of them. I got this one, which is the one I used today. This is the Meadow palette. Really beautiful palette. I love the color story. It's so different and kind of unique. I love Profusion eyeshadows, period. They're so good. They're so pigmented. They really blend so nicely, and it's really easy to get a really like high impact look with very little effort. It's wonderful. It's very wonderful. I'm very happy with it today. So I used this one. I didn't really mess with the reds too much, but I did use all of these colors up here. So pretty. There's even a duochrome in here. So this color Roots is this really beautiful like green to red duochrome. My camera's not gonna do it justice, but it's so beautiful. It's really just kind of a very interesting palette, and I'm so happy that I picked it up. Really into it. So I used I didn't use duochrome today, but I used all of these. I used this brown right here. This kind of just is a very light transition color. Very happy with what I came out with today. I also got two other ones. So I got the Smoky palette, which is really beautiful as well. Nothing revolutionary here, but really just a very pretty eyeshadow palette. You've got some kind of like deep burgundy tones here. I think this is going to be a lot of fun to play with. And then I also got the Euphoria palette. This is just a really beautiful blue purpley palette. I loved the tones in here. I think this is going to be a lot of fun as well. I feel like there's another duochrome in this one as well. Is it? Oh, that's fun. That's really fun. That's a really beautiful shade. This is going to be a lot of fun. But this will be my next video. But today we're going to focus on this one, the Meadow palette. So beautiful. I also found this there, a box of crayons. It blew my mind when I saw this at Walmart, and I totally picked it up. This is a really beautiful palette as well. Look at all of those colors. I actually used one of these shades on this eye look today. I used this white one here for kind of like the spotlight. I also used it for brow bone and inner corner highlight. So we'll dip into this one in just a minute, but we'll go ahead and start on the eye. I don't have any base makeup on or anything. I do have a little bit of concealer under my eye, and for that I used my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is in the shade Medium Peach, and I just kind of dotted it underneath my eye and blended it out with a dry beauty blender. Just that way it would absorb more of the product, because I really didn't want like a heavy laydown, but I just kind of wanted to disguise my dark circles just a little bit. So that was perfect for that. I also put just a little bit on my nose. I tend to be super red there. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, I also used the new e.l.f. Putty blushes. They're not new, but they're new to me. I used the shade, I believe this is Turks and Caikos. Yeah, Turks and Caikos. So I used this one today. It's so pretty. It is so natural, especially for like no makeup days. It's really a beautiful blush product. Again, I used that on a dry beauty blender, and I just kind of used the flat side and just rubbed my beauty blender in there, and then just kind of blended it out on my cheeks. My eyebrows are done. But for eyeshadow primer today, I used my NYX. So I'm kind of falling in love with this one. You guys know that I love my Believe Beauty. I love my Believe Beauty, but this one is really good too. I'm really enjoying this one. Actually, this one is not very cheap. NYX is not the cheapest brand at the drugstore anyway, and I love my Believe Beauty because it's under $5. but this one is really nice, and since I have it, I'm gonna use it. It's really nice. It blends out really easy. It gives you a really nice base for your eyeshadow. I'm really enjoying it. So let's go ahead and, oh, and I'll talk about my lips in just a minute because I'm really kind of feeling the lips too. I went for like a cooler toned brown neutral to kind of go with the eye look. I didn't want to compete with the eye look. I really just kind of wanted to enhance it. So eye look. The first color that we're going to dip into is this really pretty like neutral brown here. It's called Canopy. So this one right here, excuse my nails, that'll be the thing that I do next. And I'm going to go in with just a very big fluffy blending brush. This is the Dew Color 03, so just a big fluffy blending brush. I'm going to go right in to that warm color. And I'm just going to kind of fluff this out. I'm going to bring it up onto the side of my nose. You guys know that I do that. I'm not going to go heavy on this. I'm going to not tape, but pin my hair back so you guys can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to fluff this out and really just give me a base to put my next shadow on. I'm also going to bring it up onto the side of my nose just a little bit, just to help kind of contour my eye area a little bit. And that's that. Now I'm going to knock my brush off. I'm going to use the same brush and I'm going to go in to Stream. This really beautiful kind of like bluish gray matte. It's matte, but it's got a little bit of like a micro glitter in there. There's just a little bit of like a blue or silver micro glitter in there. So beautiful, but it gives such a sparkle to the eye. It's really beautiful. I'm gonna go heavy on this because I don't want it to get lost. And I'm gonna start on the outer part of my eye here. And I'm just going to blend as I go, just using tiny circular blending motions. Not going all the way up to my eyebrow, just kind of going with my natural eye contour. Putting this basically the same place I put the Canopy color. I'm not going to bring it up onto my nose though. I'm going to tuck this more so into my inner corner. Just going from corner to corner. I want to build up a nice layer of this though. I want to build it up to a nice opacity. Like I said, so it doesn't get lost. They're so pigmented though. I love the tone of this. It's so frosty without being like dead looking. It's so beautiful. I am so happy that I got this palette. And not only that, but these palettes are only like $5 a piece. you know I am a price queen. I am not the kind of lady that goes out and spends $50 on an eyeshadow palette. I just cannot, to myself, justify spending $50 on something that I'm literally going to put on my face and then put down the drain. You're literally putting it on your face to scrub it off and wash it down the sink. I can't do it. But, and not only that, but there's just something about the bargain. Like there's something about the hunt of it for me. Like the hunt for the bargain, the hunt for, you know, the treasure. Just does it for me. See how this is built up now? You've got that really beautiful kind of like frosty blue haze on the eye. Really kind of tucking it in. I think that's at a good point now. I do want to make it just a bit deeper on the outer corner than the inner. So I'm really just kind of focusing it out here just because I want that depth. So pretty. I'm going to move on to a smaller Dew Color brush. This is the Dew Color 09. Same thing, it's just a fluffy blending brush, but this one is a bit smaller. I will show it in comparison. This one is much bigger compared to this one. And with this one, I'm going to go into the shade Habitat right here. So it's basically kind of like the same tone, but this one is a bit deeper, and I would say this one has more of a green tone than it does blue. It reminds me very much of like a frozen lake. It's so, so pretty. And I'm going to tuck this one closer into my crease. I'm going to keep it, I'm not going into my crease. I mean, you can. I guess I'm doing my crease, but I'm just focusing it on my lower transition area. I don't want to hide that really pretty blue-gray that we just did. And again, I'm going to focus some of it out here for depth. Just back and forth, back and forth. Not really tucking too much of it in my inner corner. And I'm just doing thin layers, little bits at a time, until I build up the depth that I'm looking for. And because the gray that we used before had that little bit of glitter and shimmer in it, it's not going to look flat, which I really, really enjoy. Sometimes when you do an all matte eye look, it can look very flat and kind of pancakey, and it can be hard to get like the movement that you want, but this is really, really nice. Just building it up little bits by little bits. I don't want it to be too dark, because I'm really looking for a really nice gradient. And I think that's good. We can always go in with more later if we need to. But to blend that out, I'm going to go back into the first brush. I'm going to dip just a little bit into the first color that we used, Stream. And I'm going to go back over and really kind of blend those two colors together. I really like to blend as I go, especially with these smoky eye looks, because I'm the kind of person that will forget to go back and blend, and then I'll be walking around all day with unblended eyeshadow, and that's not cute for anybody. Really just trying to blur that line. Even that right there, I think, is so, so pretty. I am just living for the tones in these shadows. They are so beautiful. So, so gorgeous. Now we're going to move on to a different brush. For this one, I'm going to use my Moda. This is just my, it's a crease brush, I believe. I believe it's a Moda crease brush. So what this is just a domed, it's a bit more dense than the other brushes that I used. It's definitely more dense. This one is domed, and this is great for like packing and blending at the same time. So I'm going to use this for the shade Evergreen, which is just this really beautiful, like matte, like evergreen pine tree green. But again, this has those little small flecks of glitter in there. Again, I believe they're silver. They might be green. I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to tap into here a couple times and get a good amount. And I'm going to start by tapping on my outer corner. And with this shade, this is what's going to give me all of the depth for my eye look. So I'm really going to go hard on the shade, but I'm not going to do a ton of product on my brush at one time. I'm really focusing on doing thin layers and really building up. and really building that depth. Now I've packed it on my outer corner, and I'm just taking the residual that's on my brush and just kind of like scooting it and stretching it probably about halfway through my crease. Just kind of creating a little bit of a shadow there. And then kind of fluffing it out up here on my outer corner, on the upper part of my outer V. Just kind of gently stretching it up from my crease just a little bit, because I still want to see the dimension. I have hooded eyes, so I still want to see this green just a little bit up here when my eyes are open. I'm going to dunk in again, pack my product, and then use what's left and just start scooting that up, putting very, very gentle pressure on my brush, really focusing it on my outer V. And then bringing it halfway through my crease. And you can see our dimension is starting to build. Now there is just a little bit of fallout. That's to be expected with darker colors. They usually have more fallout than the lighter colors. And that's generally just because they're more pigmented. Just kind of stretching it out. Gentle, gentle pressure. Focusing on my outer V. And when I've built that to the depth and opacity that I'm happy with, I'm going to go back in to the brush that we used before this one, the smaller blending brush, and I'm going to blend everything together. That is really pretty. Okay, so we're going to go back into the Dew Color 09. We're going to go back into the Habitat shade. So this kind of like wintry blue. Just very little bit of the wintry blue. And we're going to go over where the green meets the blue and really just blend everything together. Bringing this all the way to our inner corner. Really making sure that everything is very cohesive. And making sure that this blue color doesn't get lost in the green. So pretty. So, so pretty. We are beautifully blended. Everything is very cohesive. So pretty. Now we're going to go to a different brush. We're going to go on to, this is my Morphe Jeffree Star brush. This is the JS11, I believe. Yes, the JS11. Just a flat packing brush. This one is very, very dense. Just a flat packing brush. Anyone that you have will work. And then we're going to go into this blue color here. This is called Epiphany. Really beautiful, kind of like winter lake kind of blue. It just reminds me of winter water, like a winter stream. Just that really dark, moody blue. We're going to get a good bit on our brush. And then we're just going to start packing this. Really kind of pressing it into the lid. And we're going to start packing it on the rest of our exposed lid space. Now, I will warn you, this shade wants to be a little bit patchy. Nothing serious, but it does, if you can see, it wants to get just a little bit patchy. So you really have to kind of work with it. And really kind of press it in. I have to stretch my eye just a little bit because I have very wrinkly eyelids. But really just kind of pressing it in. And I'm bringing this all the way down to my lash line. And just kind of building it up till I'm happy and until I don't see any more patchiness. Now where the green and the blue meet, I'm just going to take my brush and very, very lightly go over the line back and forth until it's blurred and the two colors have blended together. And that is essentially the eye look. It is so beautiful, so simple. Smoky eyes are definitely some of my favorites. I'm just going to take a towel here and clean up a little bit of the fallout that happened from the green. If you're one of those ladies that likes to do foundation before you do your eyes, I would advise against that. Just with this palette, the darker colors are very much fallouty. There's not barely any kick up in the pan, but just because of darker colors. And I went in a little hard with it, so I got just a little bit of fallout, but it cleaned up very nicely. And like I said, I had a little bit of concealer under my eye and it didn't disturb my concealer. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now I'm gonna go in to my box of crayons, this really, really beautiful, colorful palette. And I'm gonna go into the white shade. The white shade is just a really beautiful kind of like white silver shimmer. And I'm just gonna take that on my finger. Hi, honey. You're welcome.
Try to stay out of shot.
Oh, it's okay. And I'm a little bit on my finger, and I'm gonna take that beautifully pigmented shadow, by the way. I really just kind of tapped onto the pan and came out with beautiful pigmentation. Now I brought that all the way up to my crease. Now I know it looks weird, but we're gonna take just a tiny pencil brush. Any kind of small detail brush you have will work. I'm gonna go in with my AOA Studios, the E123. No, this is the E112, I'm sorry. So it's just like a big pencil brush. And I'm gonna take that on the outer edges and just slightly go back and forth and soften those edges slightly. So pretty. Just kind of softening everything up just the tiniest bit. And then I'm going to go in with the same brush and I'm going to put a little bit just up here, just under the arch of my brow. I don't want to over highlight. Just to kind of bring a little bit more light to the situation. And then I'm also going to put a little bit on my inner corner. Again, just to kind of pull the light. So beautiful. I'm going to work on my lower lash line now. For that, I'm going to use my Moda Small Shader. And the first color I'm going to dip into is the second transition shade that we used. So that's Habitat right here. I'm just going to tip the very tip, knock off my excess, and I'm just going to start on my outer corner. Making sure to connect. And staying pretty close to my lash line. I don't want this to be like too much. I don't want it to make my eye too dark. And I'm going to bring it all the way to my inner corner. I'm not fluffing it out too much. I just want to put a little bit of color down there just for the sake of continuity. So pretty. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my e.l.f. This is my e.l.f. small angled brush. I'm going to dip into the Evergreen color. And I'm just going to bring this across my lash line. Again, creating a little bit of a shadow. There's my babies making themselves known. Just bringing it directly on my lash line. Kind of like a smoky liner situation. And I'm doing that across my entire eye from outer to inner corner. So beautiful. I am so loving this shadow look. It's so beautiful and it's so dramatic. I'm gonna go in with an eyeliner now. I'm gonna use my Milani Stay Put liner. This is in the shade After Dark, so it's just a black eyeliner, and I'm gonna tight line. Both my upper and lower lash line. Really just kind of brings more drama. It really kind of darkens everything up. And then I'm gonna put some lash primer on. Now, I did a line, just a black line across my upper lash line. This is the Maybelline Hyper Easy liquid liner. Not doing a super bold line, but just a little something, just to help my lashes look thicker. And then I'm going to go in with my NYX On The Rise Lash Primer. Guys, I cannot preach about this enough. This is the kind of look that you really like. False lashes almost required, but because I don't do the false lash thing because I'm not good at it, this is the next best thing. It really gives your lashes that little bit of extra oomph that a look like this needs and really calls for. And if I had a pause button, I would pause and then just come back when it's done. But because I film on an iPhone 11, that feature, unfortunately, does not exist. And I do not edit my videos. If I make a mistake, I want you guys to see it. I want you guys to see how I fix it. I want you guys to see how I roll with the punches. So, but there's that little 10-second fast forward thing on YouTube, so y'all can use that and little speed right ahead, so y'all don't have to watch me put on my eyeshadow, not my eyeshadow, but my mascara. I do both my upper and lower ones. And now while that's drying and setting for just a minute, I will talk to you about what I put on my lips. So I wanted something neutral but cool toned. I wanted something that was going to complement the eye and not fight with it or pull attention. So for liner, I used the NYX, just the lip pencil in brown. And I just lightly defined my lips. I focused mainly on my bottom lip curve right here and my Cupid's bow. And then over that, I went with the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink. That's what she looks like. I love the packaging. I think it's so cute. This is in the shade 255 Chai Genius. It's a really beautiful kind of... so pretty. I love the applicator as well. It's just this really beautiful, I want to say neutral because it's not really cool toned, but it's not warm toned either. It's just this really beautiful neutral brown. Love it, love it, love it. And then over top of that, to kind of tie in with the green we have going on our eye and a little bit of the sparkle and shimmer, I used the e.l.f. Mint Melt Lip Plumping Gloss in the shade Mint Sprinkles. So basically what it is just a clear gloss, but it's got like these green, this green glitter in there. So beautiful. And when I put it on, you can really see like the green glitter. It's so pretty. And I thought it was just like a fun little addition to the lip. And it's very minty tasting. It plumps your lips up a little bit. So cute. For mascara today, I'm going to use, what am I going to use? I am going to use, let's use the Maybelline Sky High. This is the Maybelline Lash Sensational Sky High. And it's just in black. We'll do a nice coat on both our upper and lower lashes. The only thing I have to say about this mascara is I wish the wand was a bit stiffer, so that way I could really get in between the lashes and really like separate everything. But it really does a beautiful job of like giving you length and really lifting your lashes. It really is a very beautiful mascara. And there's our look. I'll take out my hair clips so we can get like a beauty reveal. My bra is hanging out. Sorry, ladies. Okay. there's our look for today. Please let me know what you guys think about it. Yes, no, love it, hate it. I would rock the heck out of it. Please let me know. As always, no filters, edits, anything like that. Just me sitting in front of my camera, doing my makeup, hoping you guys are enjoying it. I always post finished pics on my Facebook page, Makeup for the Everyday Mama, MAHMA. So when y'all are done with the video, please head on over there and check out the pics. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I'd really, really appreciate it. Maybe even a share or two would be fantastic. I love you guys so, so much. And I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, take care of yourselves, and remember, you're important.